Hey, Letty.
I have problem with my computer.
What's going on?
I don't know what happened, but I'm using my phone.
Got it. Okay. I see you. Yeah. I see two of you. I see your computer and I see your phone. It's all good. Yeah.
I close my computer. That's this. Made me hard time.
It's
I don't
all
know what.
good. I know. It's all good. Hey, Jay.
Hi, Professor. How are you guys?
Hi. Nice to see you. I glad to see you. I say I'm worried. I don't want to miss my class today.
Oh, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here.
Yes. Everywhere. Well, I watched the video last week.
Nice. Good. Good, good, good.
Yeah.
Ahmad, your beard looks good. It looks clean and trim. I need to clean my beard. His looks good.
Actually, I waited for a long time for the salons to open. It didn't happen. Then I started doing myself.
It looks clean, dude. I was thinking about it yesterday, like, oh, I need to do it, but I was just too lazy. But I have to do it soon because it's getting crazy. But I just noticed it looks really good. It looks really good.
Thank you.
Professor, you don't have to cut it.
Thanks, Jay. It's not.
Christmas is already coming.
I know it's not crazy, but it's like, just clean it up a little bit. Just clean it up a little bit.
Oh, good afternoon.
Okay, good to see you, Hiro. Good to see you. Yes, good afternoon.
Keep it till Christmas so you could play Senna.
I'm not. Thank you. I'm not gonna shave it off. No one cares, but it's just a little, you know how it just gets a little crazy, With some good to see you. Jay has me playing Santa Claus. That's cool.
Santa Claus.
Is it just?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Santa Claus afraid about virus. He doesn't show up this week.
Yeah. Corona Claus. Yeah, I don't know about Corona Claus. He's afraid. Maybe he's safe up at the North Pole. What were you gonna say, Jay?
Is anyone having test messages and calls from Los Rios right now?
I did, yes. I got a text. I don't know about a phone call, but I did get a text, yes.
I got several phone calls and several texts and emails. I'm like, why is my phone beeping?
Calm down, Los Rios. I did not get all of that, but I definitely have gotten maybe 1 or 2 messages today, so you're not alone.
Is it school even open?
I mean, it is not really, no. I mean, it's really hard. No one's really been allowed on campus. I can't, teachers can't go to their offices, and it's just completely shut down.
So how about those classes with labs? Are they
I think my understanding is that there are some classes are meeting in person, but basically there are very, very few of them. And if you are not in one of those classes, it's all shut down. You're completely not allowed. But I know they're doing chemistry labs, and they're trying to do some of the labs even online. It's because
I know some programs are for spring, because I'm trying to apply for a program, and they said they're not accepting because of the pandemic. So no labs, no nothing.
What program? Here at ARC or a different school?
At ARC.
Yeah, I wish I had good news, but I just think it's gonna be a long time, because the way that would fix this, I was reading an article today about the University of Illinois. They're doing massive testing. They have this amazing program in place. They're doing in-person classes and stuff like that. but you know, we just don't have enough money. I mean, like there's not enough money to do the type of testing that would be necessary to get people back on campus. Maybe that'll change. I don't know, but I don't know. Cool. We got Natalia's here and Olga's here and Fada's here. What is going on, you guys? How are you doing?
Hi.
Good to see you guys.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Olga.
Professor Jeff, I did some homework, and if you can check, please, later.
So give me my points. Yeah, I haven't done a lot of grading this week, Olga, but I will. I promise. If you if you sent anything new in, I will look at it and give you points. I promise.
Thank you.
Of course.
Oh, Professor, regarding
Tell me.
quizzes, are
Yeah.
you supposed to like, because on the lesson 6, it would show the answers, like the correct answers after test, after the first take. Are you, is that okay? I mean,
That might have been on accident, but I don't, you know, you guys can tell, right? The purpose of the lessons is not to test you, it's to teach you and give you points. So I'm not too worried about people getting, if you look at the syllabus, right? Like I think 50% of the grade is lessons. So you could get 100% on the lessons, right? But if your papers aren't good, you're not going to pass. So I'm trying to find the balance here as we do this online stuff. So usually I like to show the answers after the final attempt, but if I have a wrong setting in Canvas, I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, my goal with the lessons is to help you practice and learn the new ideas, not to test things you already know. So.
okay.
You know, Professor, I read chapter 1, 2, 3 times. And I say, I got it, everything.
Yeah.
And I'm going to open my quizzes. And I said, what happened with me?
Well, that's why you get 2 tries, okay? That's why you get 2 attempts, Leticia.
Even if I know I got the wrong answer, I say, well, I had to get the thing well in answer, because I say, what he asked me, what is wrong and what is yes and what is not. But I enjoying chapter 3.
Good. Yeah. Are you a poetry person, Letty? Are you a?
Yes,
Me too.
I more understanding now than chapter 1 and 2. And
good.
Maybe getting closer.
Chapter 3 has a lot of.
Yes.
Chapter 3 has a lot of Spanish too, so that helps. That helps since she's translating from Spanish into English.
Yes.
And she talks about Gabo, and she talks about her love for Quevedo, and you know Sor Juana and all that stuff. So.
Oh yes, Mambo.
Mambo, I know. He's what, Puerto Rican, or he grew up in New York, I guess. But yeah, New Yorican.
Mambo.
Yes, I see Natalia.
What happened?
It's okay. Natalia, I see you have a hand up. You got a question before we get started?
Yeah, hello. I have a question about assignments, because now I see that we have 3 more. Okay. I can advance more. I can see them like lesson. The next lesson is, I don't know what does it mean, but I can go there even though I did everything before. And what about the, it states the danger of a single story, and the others that I see with due dates, even though you told before that we will not have the due dates for the linguistic narrative and linguistic narrative too.
There will be, yeah. Remember, this is, so that's the first major writing assignment. So as it says in the syllabus, the only assignments with due dates are for the major writing assignments. So half of today's class is to introduce the first major writing assignment. And yes, there are due dates for those, for anything connected to the major writing assignment. So we're going to introduce the first one, and it does have due dates. What I don't like to hear is that you finished lesson 13 and you can't do lesson 14. That
Yes,
is sort
I
of
don't have an
strange.
access for this. That is why I was wondering, even on weekends when I finished everything, and I couldn't see the access for this.
Let me take a look in Canvas here. I don't want to bore you guys too much, but prerequisites unit 2, update module. Let me look at one more thing here. Did anybody else? So I know, Natalia, you're one of the few people who has actually done lesson 13. I think more than half the class is not there yet. Has anybody else finished lesson 13 but could not do lesson 14? Hiroe, you too? Okay, let me take a look and see what's going on. If this is some weird, and Usama too. Okay, if there's something in Canvas here, then maybe I'm gonna.
After I finished lesson 13, I see the lesson 14 now on Canvas.
But you, okay, but can you do it?
Oh, I see. I will open up now.
Yeah, if not, I might just get rid of the prerequisite for unit 3 and let you guys get started there.
It looks like I can. Oh, but
okay.
There's no response field.
Oh, maybe this is not about the prereqs. This is some other setting inside the lesson itself. Okay, let me take a look at this just for time, because I do want to talk about, I want to make sure that we talk about a bunch of stuff today. But here's so one thing I just did was in modules in unit 3, I just took off or removed any prerequisite so that you shouldn't have to wait to open that unit 3. Excuse me. And then I will look at the settings in Canvas for the discussion. And if there's something I need to fix in, excuse me, I've got, I don't even have unit 3 in modules. Check again, Natalia, because I just took off the prereqs. So you should be able to see unit 3 now regardless, like no matter what. Ugh, God. It's okay, I won't get impatient. I'm gonna share my screen so you guys can see what I'm doing, even though it's boring. So there's unit 3. And let me check the prereqs. No prerequisite, no prerequisite, update. I think I'm gonna move this into here actually, so it doesn't matter. We'll just call this unit 3. Okay, I see someone in the chat. Let me take a look. No, still nothing, Natalia says. Yeah, probably Hero is saying refresh. I think that's exactly right. Let me refresh and you guys can do the same. And then I'm going to switch to student view. So refresh and see if you can see. It should say unit 3, lesson 14, and then the linguistic narrative, the first major writing assignment. Okay, that's good. That's how it should look. Can anybody see this? Thank you. Now I see it. Thank you, Natalia. I think you brought this to my attention, so thank you. Anybody else? Hiroe, can you see this? Unit 3?
I've been trying to. I have to make the Zoom first smaller. I can see it.
I know. So many screens, so many devices, all that stuff.
I know. I will chat. I will put it in the chat message, maybe, so you can go on.
Perfect. Great. And Ahmad gave me a thumbs up, so it looks like Ahmad can see it. So hopefully that took care of it. And again, thank you, Natalia. Thank you, thank you. Usama, what you got?
Yes, I saw that.
Great. Perfect.
And there is a video, a colored video.
Yes. Yeah, good. Yeah, lesson 14 is a discussion, and then most of what this, sort of coming up, what most of this week will be, is to give you lots of time to think about the first major writing assignment. Like I said, because we're pretty much done. We're going to wrap up discussion and talking about why translation matters. And now we're going to take some of those ideas, some of the language ideologies, and write about them. That's what we're going to talk about doing today. Any other computer stuff or technical stuff? Again, just one more time, I want to say thank you, Natalia. Even though I hate doing this because it's slow and boring computer stuff, it's really important. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Anything else on this type of stuff about like Canvas stuff or technology issues that I should fix before we get started today? Thank God. Okay, let's get going. I'm gonna move my box up here. Okay. So we are here on Wednesday, September 23rd, 2020. Guys, 5 weeks. We've been doing this for 5 weeks. So here's what we're doing today. I'm going to give you a check-in just like usual. Then I'm calling it a warm-up activity. It's just a way for us to finish talking about paraphrasing a little bit. Again, you've taken 325 or 340 or something where you got to practice some of these things in the past. So I don't spend as much time on this stuff in 350, but it's still always good practice. So we'll do a little bit of that. And then we're going to introduce narrative writing and introduce the first major writing assignment. So that's really what the last half of this class is going to be. And we'll take our time because I really want to make sure you understand what that is and the grading and the due dates and all that stuff. Since, like Natalia was saying, this is one of only 3 or 4 assignments that will have any due date in this class. So I do want to do a quick check-in, just like usual. I'm only going to do 10 minutes because we're going to work in small groups 2 times today. But the first 10 minutes, I do want to give you a chance to just talk to each other. So to check in, here are my suggested questions. And just like usual, if you end up or want to talk about something different, that's totally fine too. But here are the suggestions. 1, how are you feeling about the workload for this class right now? Do you feel ahead? Do you feel behind? Why? Just a chance to talk about some of that stuff. Next, what is one fear you have about this class right now? Let's just put it out there. What's going on? If you're not afraid of anything, that's great. I love hearing that. But if you're worried about something, talk about it and then we can talk about it together. And then the good news, what's one success you had this week? Personal, family, school, work, anything, just some positive, good news, some good news. Makes sense, the questions that I want you to talk about with each other. Cool, I'm gonna open up the small group rooms. Give me just 1 second here. We've got, let's do groups of 3 people. Yeah, good. All right, so I'm gonna open the rooms. Make sure you've looked at these questions or you remember them, you wrote them down, you took a picture, whatever. I'm gonna create the rooms and open the rooms. And again, I'll see you at 12:40. I'm gonna give you just about 10 minutes. So I'll see you guys in 10 minutes, okay? Here we go. Usama, what happened?
There is this meeting is not working. We couldn't see each other. We couldn't hear each other. So it is a problem. Technical.
I don't know what's going on. No one else is having the same problem. I'm going to try, maybe I'll try to send you back and see if you join again. Will that help? And then let me know. We'll see. Because we've only got 2 or 3 more minutes and then we'll come back.
Join. Yes.
Yeah, try to join again and see if that helps. I don't know. I'm not sure what was going on.
Hi, Natalia.
Hello.
All right, welcome back. Group 1 is still chatting. They'll be back. You know, the computer kicks them out in 10 seconds.
Professor, you kicked me out.
Sorry.
Tell me, say what?
You kicked me out.
I moved you, yeah, because I did move you because Leticia was here twice, her phone and her laptop. But her laptop was in one room and there was only one other person in there. So the ghost of Letty's laptop was not a good conversation partner for that group. So yes, I did move you, Jay. Natalia, yes, I heard your voice too. What's going on?
I have a question about the lesson 14, because almost every time I'm confused when I don't see like requirements about the words, the limit of words, or not limit, I mean, what amount of words do we need to write in our answers, on quizzes, on discussions. On discussions, I believe, I remember that you posted, but what about this discussion? Is it like 200 words, 400, 500?
For anything that's a discussion, hold on, I gotta move all my stuff around here. Any discussion activity, and let me go back to, that's why for every discussion activity, so you can get here in many different ways, but for every discussion, oh my goodness, my bad, you guys. It says read and review the discussion guidelines and rubric, but I didn't link to the,
oh, it's okay. I just forgot. I remember for previous discussions, it was
that's,
like
yeah.
500s maybe.
Yeah, that's what it should be. It's use it so much that it's right here in the main files page. Sorry, hold on.
Mm-hmm. And what about the quizzes? Because the last quiz I remember, and the previous quiz before the last, I don't remember the number 11 lesson or what.
Yeah, if there's no, again, like for us at 350, Natalia, honestly, like, you know, at 350, if you guys are only writing a 1-sentence response, then I mean, you probably already know that that's too short. But I also don't want you to feel for the discussions like, you know, you have to write 500 words for, you know, the last quiz question. You know, so if the word number is important, I'll tell you, I'll say 300 words or 200 words or whatever. If it's not, I'll just leave it blank. And you know what, there was a student, I'm thinking of one student that I did have to say, you know, this answer's too short. If you want to resubmit and write something longer, you can. But again, like at 350, I assume you're here because you want to write. So it's not usually a problem in this class where people are like writing only 1 or 2 words for a short answer. So
okay, I see. So if I have any information about the amount of words, so just to follow the idea to put the main idea of the,
yeah, exactly. Like give a good answer. You know what I mean? Because yeah, just answer the question fully. I mean, yes, that's all I want to say. If the word count is important, I will give you the number. And then if I feel like you wrote something way too short, like 1 sentence, do you agree or disagree? Why? And you write, I disagree. Then that's too short, you know, and I'll let you know in a comment. So for the discussions, it's at least 200 words for your post, 50 words, about 50 words for your reply.
Oh, okay, because I have 4 classes, and I remember maybe in another class I have 400 or 500 words. That is why I'm confused now. Okay, there are 200s. Okay,
yeah. And we'll talk about word count for the major writing assignments. The 3 big papers, there'll always be a word count. But yeah, great question. Cool. Anything else that came up in your small groups that's worth talking about or asking about, or any questions?
We couldn't speak in general.
What was going on in your group, Ahmad?
Oh, okay. We had some technical difficulties, but at the end we were able to kind of talk about the questions.
Oh, good. Okay. That's good. Yeah, technical difficulties is like the law of the land. That is the reality of this moment. So I'm sorry. I know it can be frustrating, but I'm glad you got to talk to each other at least a little bit at the end. Anything else before we move on? Anybody want to talk about their deepest fears or concerns?
Wow.
That's good. Letty, I'm going to mute you. It's not personal. Cool. Let's move on. So you're going to work with that group again. So you're going to get to talk to each other again. So I'm glad that the technical stuff was getting resolved in group one, because here's the first thing I want to do today as a warm up before we talk about. So I said, go to Canvas, home, life support materials, paraphrase, practice, or I'm going to post the link in the chat. What I'm putting in the chat here is the link to the paraphrasing document that we looked at last week, okay? And I'll tell you what I want us to do. If you look at, here's the example that we went through, the original, the more successful, the less successful. And then like we quickly talked about at the end of the last class, sort of my 4 suggestions, my 4 steps for paraphrasing. What I really want you to do is, I'm going to put you in the breakout groups again, right? And I would like you to work with your group. If you really feel like you want to do this on your own, I guess that's okay. You can tell your group that you want to do it by yourself, but I think it'll be good to do together. So really, I want one person, maybe a person who is at the laptop or a person who can type or take notes. I just want you to work together as a group and look at this paragraph and then write a paraphrase for it. And then we will look at your group's paraphrase together and talk about it and see what was good, what could be improved and stuff like that. So I put breakout room 1, 2, and 3 here. So breakout room 1, whoever is going to type in the document, you can just type right here. Breakout room 2 right here, room 3 right here. I see anonymous jackals right there already getting ready. So here's the paragraph that I want you to paraphrase together. So the original paragraph is from chapter 3, I think, and it's on page 97. And here it is. It says, I have always believed that in the process of rewriting a poem in a second language, it is incumbent upon me as the translator to hear that beat and transfer an equivalent pulse into the English lines. How can one accomplish this when the essential rhythms and metric assumptions of Spanish and English are so different from each other? English, for example, has a much larger number of one-syllable words than Spanish. The effect on the rhythm of the language is incalculable. Think of the stunning effect of monosyllables in the poetry of Shakespeare, Hopkins, or Yeats. Powerful lines in their work are composed entirely of monosyllables. So I'll let you as a group look at the vocabulary here. I'll let you guys do that. And I'll also post in the chat links to the dictionary, the thesaurus, and the etymology dictionary if you want to use that. But before you go back to your groups and sort of start group writing, I did want to talk about this second step to paraphrasing. And that's, what's the main idea? Like, what is this paragraph about? Like what, it's your job to put same idea, different words. What's the main idea of this paragraph?
Paraphrasing is to put in our word, the quotation which we do, this paragraph.
Correct.
We have to use our word and to show our understanding.
Yes. Exactly. Good. So Usama is exactly right. Remember, like I said last week, before you think about, oh my God, what am I going to write? I want you to think, do I understand what this paragraph is saying? If you don't even start writing it, right? And I sort of suggested last week, start with vocabulary if you need to understand just what is the meaning. And then once you understand each word, what's the main idea? Because, right, whether it's a page or a paragraph or a whole book, there is some theme, some thesis, some main idea that it is your job to paraphrase here. So in this paragraph, what's the main idea? Can you point at one sentence or even in your own words, what is the main idea for this quote?
The problem of the translating from language to language, how to convert the feeling, the sense, the medium, the ring, all the text components. It is not an easy job.
Great.
I to describe this, and also it makes a conversion about the syllabus, the monosyllabus and the multisyllabus, where English, there is more syllables than.
Great. Great. Usama, I think, said two important sort of key words there. One is rhythm or feeling or something like that. And then this idea of syllables. I do think that's important. Yeah. Ahmad, what do you see? What do you think? Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. In general, I think Grossman tries to explain that anybody who translates something, especially the poetry, it's not only the rhythm, the tone of that poem before doing the translation.
Great, love it. Okay, more rhythm, tone, good, great. Especially for, Ahmad is sort of adding, especially for poetry, these issues of syllables and rhythm are really important. Good. Anybody else want to add? Anybody else? One more thing? Yeah, Hiroe, go ahead.
I think she is saying the most important thing is to keep the rhythm and pulse, like keep the core soul when she translate into another language.
I agree, Hiroe. I think Osama was right to talk about rhythm and syllables, but I do think, remember, if we're thinking about like the highest level, sort of the biggest picture, the most important idea, I do think rhythm is up here. And then this idea of syllables is connected to this bigger main idea of rhythm, right? So again, Usama, they're connected. That's very important. But if you're just thinking, what's the first biggest main idea here is pulse, beat, rhythm, and like you were saying too, Osama, feeling, kind of soul, all that type of stuff. And then I'll add what Ahmad said, especially, she does say in the paragraph, especially in poetry, right? Especially in poetry. Great. Okay, so that's the main idea. And what I really want you to do, can you still hear me?
Yes.
My screen says my internet connection is unstable. Okay, good. Thank you, Hiroe. So that's the main idea that I really want you to talk about with your group and figure out how to sort of write a paragraph together, right? Like at least talk to each other, and maybe if one person's typing, you can give each other ideas. Before we do this, Osama, you got one more thing to say?
Yes, I have to say about my opinion in point translating. I think in general it is an impossible mission. It is approximately a impossible mission.
Save it for major writing assignment 2, Osama, because she's talking about poetry, but after we finish this narrative in a couple weeks, it's all poetry for about 3 or 4 weeks. So that's a very controversial opinion. Well, maybe not controversial. You're not the only one, but save it for later. But I do love it. It's very interesting. And the only thing I'll say, Osama didn't say anything wrong there, but remember, paraphrasing, with all due respect, it's not even about your opinion, right? This is just your job when you're paraphrasing is to tell what the other person is saying. So great. Is it clear what I want you guys to do? Work together with your group to practice writing a paragraph, a paraphrasing paragraph?
Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'm going to put you back in your groups. I'm going to come check in on the groups one-on-one this time. So don't be surprised when you see me come into your room, okay?
So how to write, Professor? Is there to write in our on a file they belong to us?
No, this is a shared Google document, so we can all be here typing together. I don't know who Jackal is or Unicorn is, but even as long as one person in each group can type, then someone, everyone can type directly. Whoever this is, can someone who's in the document start typing for us, just so that we see what it looks like?
I'm trying.
I'm waiting. Let's see. Maybe down here, someone. Yeah, good. Okay, Jay's got her name. Yeah. So there's Jay. She's the blue picture. She's typing test. I see a purple. Who's the purple? Hiroe, good to see you, Hiroe. Good. And there's a blue. Who's the blue here? Anonymous Jackal. So we know Jay is at a laptop, Hiro is at a laptop. Can I ask real quick, who else is at a laptop? Because I want to make sure there's at least one person who can type. Ahmad is in a laptop, Usama's on a laptop. Let me check my groups to make sure we can do this. So at least one person in each group can type. So Ahmad is in group 1, he has a laptop, awesome. Jay is in group 3 and she has a laptop. Awesome. Hero is in group 2. So maybe let's do that, you guys. So room 2, hi. So for here, if that's okay with you guys, Hero, will you type for your group? Ahmad, will you type for your group? And Jay, will you type for your group? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Great. And then do your best, right? This is kind of a fun sort of experiment. If you don't get a whole paragraph, that's fine, but at least talk to your group. How would you say this? How would you write the sentences? What would you do? So I think that's going to be really, really helpful to do. So I'm going to open all the rooms back up again. Go ahead and join, and I'll come see you guys in a few minutes. Hey, Natasha, can you hear me? You can type in the chat or talk, whatever's best.
Yes, I can talk right now.
Perfect. I'm going to put you into, we're working on a sort of project in small groups. I'm going to put you into one of the groups. They'll tell you sort of what we're doing. But the short version is we're just practicing paraphrasing, more paraphrasing.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, one moment. I'm at work right now. I'm not able to do this small group right now. So I will join you maybe in 10, 15 minutes back. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. You can just keep your screen off, stay muted then. And then, yep, you'll see when we're back together.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Tired. I don't know what should I start. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Hala and Natasha, I saw you guys, but we're just in small groups, and I was sort of going in to say hi and talk to the other groups, but we're going to come back in a few minutes. So just hang out, and you'll see what we're doing when everybody comes back, okay? Thank you. There we go. I was waiting for that copy and paste. I love it. So this is where I like Google Docs, though. Then everything's it's so cool to see everybody doing stuff at the same time. It makes me happy. All right, welcome back, everybody. I see people still finishing up, making little edits. That is great. So I want to look at these together. And we're spending more time than I wanted, but I think this is really good. I was so happy with your guys' work and so happy with your questions. So I think this is really important. First, just real quick, before we look at each group's examples, how was this? How'd it go? How was it to work together and to practice this? How was it? Just maybe a few people, what was it like?
I just don't want to say anything, but I think it was a great thing, great experience after a long time doing paraphrasing.
Good. Good. That's good. I'll take great experience. Oh, and I want to keep reminding myself or remember to say, when I ask questions to the group, if you guys want to type it in a chat instead of, you don't have to use your voice or use your screen. If you guys want to answer my question in the chat, I will read what you type in the chat. So I just want to remember to say that every week. Great. So Ahmad said, it felt good after lots of paraphrasing. So yeah, if you're at 350, you've definitely done paraphrasing before. Anybody else, thoughts or ideas about the experience?
It's always adding different things to our knowledge when we cooperate together.
Cool. Oh, good. I like that. As someone was saying, it's good to work together. Yeah, you see how another person would do it or say it, or you get to learn from other students. I love that. That's my dream as a teacher, Osama. I love it.
Yes, yes. And you are the perfect instructor.
Okay, stop. That's not what I'm asking about. Thank you, Osama. We're done. I'm going to cut you off. Anybody else?
Because, Professor, I am always afraid that 300.
I can't hear exactly what Osama was saying, but instead of talking about me, I do like that Osama was saying, yeah, it's normal to be afraid of doing this stuff. And I will say, I try in my class to make you push through the fear and just do it. You just got to try it. There's no other way. You just have to do it.
Yes. And you make us to do it.
What's there's Leticia, I'm sure will know, but there's a Spanish poem that I love the translation of in English, and it's caminante no hay camino. The idea is person who is walking, like there is no path, you make the path when you're walking. There is no there is no replacement for experience. Like there's another idiom in English, there is no way to peace, peace is the way. And I think for a lot of learning, that is it. There is no other way than to do it. So let's see what you guys did. So breakout room 1, this was Ahmad. Osama, you have more to say, please. I'll let you go because I'm too generous. Go ahead.
Yes, I have to tell you, when I listened to your voice in chapter 3, doing the Spanish poems, I love it. Yes, it was amazing. I feel it. I don't know Spanish, but I feel the things you are trying to show us. Yes, really, I have to tell you, when I listen 2 times, 3 times.
Thank you, Osama. I won't say that I'm, all I'll say is I think it's fair and justice for you to hear me in my second language, because I hear you in your guys' second or third or fourth language all the time. So I think that's another reason that it's important for me. That's a big part of who I am too. So I'm glad to be able to share it with you guys.
I feel also this is not an easy performance.
Oh, thank you. Well, yeah, anyway. Okay. We're done. I'm going to stop talking about me. Thank you, Osama. You're very nice. Breakout room 1. Let's look at your work. What you guys did. So breakout room 1, we've got according to Grossman, when it comes to translation of poetry in another language, my belief, I'll say one thing right here. So you're switching up pronouns a little bit here. So if you're talking about Grossman, I'd say her belief. But just for example, my belief is that the translators are obligated, I like that, to catch the beat and be able to transmit the similar pulse into English verse. Hear the beat, transfer an equivalent pulse, catch the beat, transmit the similar pulse. Okay, good. Good word changing. I think the sentence structure is very similar, but still very nice. And then we've got a question, just like she did. But the question is, how doable is it? Doable is a great word here. When English and Spanish have different rhythms and different units. For instance, English language is richer than Spanish in having one-syllable words. Therefore, the importance and outcome of the rhythm of the language is unlimited. Let's imagine the superb effect of monosyllabic. Monosyllabic is an adjective. So let's just keep monosyllables or monosyllabic rhythm. You know what I mean? If you're going to keep monosyllabic as an adjective. Of monosyllabic rhythm in poetry works of Shakespeare or Hopkins or Yeats. How lines of their work are consisting of monosyllables completely. Good. And I'm going to add a conjunction here. Great. So I want to do the same thing, open it up to you guys, other people from group 2 and 3. What do you see? What do you notice? Anything, good, bad, in between? What do you see? What do you think? Speak or type in the chat, whatever is best for you. Ooh, people are nervous, I don't think. Maybe they don't want to talk about other groups because then other groups will talk about them. That's fine.
So Professor, we can read the other groups as well. When we finish, we can talk about the 3 group and together. But I guess it's better.
That sounds good, Professor Zaki. That is fine with me. Let's do that. Okay.
I wanted to add a comment. Excuse me. I wanted to
get in there, Natalia. Get in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm ashamed, really, because I'm in this class now and I had a great experience of writing works, but I didn't use according to, and you guys are so nice because in your paraphrasing, you used according to Grossman and I forgot about it. And I think it's very important part of the paraphrasing.
Thank you, Natalia. And you don't have to be ashamed of anything.
So for once I was a little, I don't know, I feel a little, what's happened anyway.
Don't be ashamed. You're, like I said in the syllabus, everything you guys are doing right now is beautiful. You're exactly where you need to be, and it's fine. If you knew everything, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't need this class. So I will say, according to is like college writing. It's like a cheat sheet, though. It's like college writing 101. You know, it's like when in doubt, according to blah, 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 seems very professional, you know, very academic. So do not be ashamed and feel free to use it now, Natalia, please. Yeah. Okay, so let's look at breakout room 2. So breakout room 2, pulse and beat in quotations are essential in poetry. Oof, love it. Again, I'll just say right away, very different sentence structure than hers, right? We get this long academic first sentence, topic sentence in the first quote. Group 2 has a totally different sentence structure for their topic sentence. So again, I love that. Just notice that. Really nice change in the structure. Pulse and beat are essential in poetry, but because each language has its own rhythm, it is challenging to reflect the original essence and melody onto the translation of the language when 2 languages have different word structures. Oh, really good, really good. According to Grossman, English language offers more one-syllable words than in Spanish. The rhythm of poetry is important. It is, however, difficult to put it into another language without losing the beat and pulse when the language structure is different. Really good. I love it. Natalia's saying very good, I like it. The thing that this group did extremely well is understand the main idea and then explain it back to the reader. I mean, this is a very clear explanation of this main idea about pulse and beat. Now, again, pro and con, good and bad, right? I'm not saying this is a problem. One thing that's missing, though, is this. So they have the example of English and Spanish, but just notice they didn't include the famous English poets, right? English language poets. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I'm just saying be aware of it, notice it, right? Like that's a big difference in this paraphrase. I'm going to put this so that we can look at it all on one page. That's a big difference between this paraphrase here and up here, Shakespeare, Hopkins, and Yeats. And I think this one does it too, Shakespeare, Hopkins, and Yeats too. And I'll show you mine. I'll just tell you, I mentioned some of the poets that Grossman does too. But I love, like I said, I love how they explained the main idea very successfully. Fada, I see your hand. What's up?
So I have a question, Professor, in here because I didn't forget. So in paraphrasing, if we, for example, write something like the Shakespeare, name something, shall we quote it on the paraphrase as a kind of references, or how we can, because it's directly something is we should reference because of the plagiarism, and to avoid that one.
Yeah, I got group 2, you notice group 2 put words in quotes because I showed them my example that I'm about to show you. And I told them, this is something I like to do in paraphrasing. I will put 1 or 2 words in quotes. Again, here away group 2, I'd probably do, like, I think in a paraphrase, maybe 1 or 2 things in quotes is probably enough. It starts to look strange if you have all these words in quotes. Then again, I taught you guys and told you to do this, but I'll just tell you what I see and think as the teacher when I see this. When I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 words in quotes just by themselves, then my teacher brain habit is, why didn't you just quote the sentence? Why didn't you just quote that whole sentence? But if you only have 1 or 2 words in quotations, then I do feel like, here's my feeling. If we do like this.
My question was just exactly not about word, but my question was.
Well, it was though, because you asked about Shakespeare and Yeats, and you were asking about the names of authors. And in that case, it'd be saying like this, right? It'd be like, right? Now, I do want to make sure I answer this, because it's not just about Shakespeare, Yeats, and Hopkins. It's also about how we use quotes, how we use quotation marks, and what words from a paraphrase when we're paraphrasing, do we ever use the same exact word from the original? And I'm saying yes. Now, you might have another teacher who says, never do that, you're plagiarizing. I don't agree. I think that some words are very important so that you could paraphrase a whole paragraph, but if you keep 1 or 2 words, because that word by itself is really important, you don't want to use a synonym, because pulse and beat for Hereaway, for Hereaway's group was very important. I think that's totally fine. Now, again, if you go to a history class and your teacher says, why are you doing this? This is terrible. Listen to them, get the grade you want. But especially if you keep going, if you go to grad school, or if you start writing reports or anything for professional career, at a certain point, it's about personal style, and I do think like putting 1 or 2 words in quotations instead of saying I'm plagiarizing, I'm stealing, to me, it's the writer telling me, the reader, hey, I know that this came from someone else's book. I know that this came from someone else's letter. I know that this came from someone else's article, but this word is so important that I'm going to use it in my paraphrase. And I like that. I mean, like I said with the other groups, I've written a lot of papers, and this style that group 2 did, and that I'm going to show you with my example, I like it. I do it all the time. So again, like, do what you like, practice, go for it. But the short answer to Fada's question is no, you don't need to put Shakespeare in quotes. A proper name, a place, a city, a person, you don't need to put it in quotes. But a word like pulse, when you put it in quotes, the other thing is you're saying is, hey, I'm using pulse the way that Grossman used pulse, right? Like I'm using it the same way she did. And I think that helps with a paraphrase. I really, really do. Let's look at number 3. We've got 2, I think. We've got 2 different options, which I love. So example 1, I think, don't put I. I'm just going to fix this. Remember, in a paraphrase, you're kind of reporting. You're kind of using reporting language. So don't switch to the first person pronoun. Grossman thinks that when a person needs to write a poem in a different language, it's important to feel the heart and soul for every line in English. Okay. But how is it possible when both English and Spanish abide to different rules? Some great examples of synonyms, you guys. Again, just in all of these examples, some really great synonyms. Abide is what I'm saying. I love abide here. Like how English has a variety of one-syllable words than Spanish has a... If you say more than, then we are going to need some kind of comparative, right? So a wider variety of one-syllable words than Spanish, and a conjunction. That was a comma splice. Without the conjunction, this should be a period, right? If you want to put these two clauses together, you need a coordinating conjunction. So there's endless possibility of giving different sounds for a poem. Nice. I love this idea of sounds here. Again, sounds is a new word, a sort of connected paraphrase word that is important. So I really like that. The works of Shakespeare, Hopkins, or Yeats, which are mostly monosyllabic. Ooh, good use of monosyllabic as an adjective. We got the linking verb and the adjective describing the works. I love it. Can be given countless rhythms. Really nice. Example 2. Translators face difficulties in writing a poem in different languages because of the unique emphasis. Emphasis is a good word here. Again, I'm just sort of pointing out nice synonyms here. And beat on each line. This is not easy for Spanish and English to transfer rhymes and metric. Metric is an adjective, so you'd need some noun after this. Some metric thing, line, something, from one language to another. This singularity, is clearly expressed in the example of the works of Shakespeare, Hopkins, or Yeats, comma. This is a subordinating conjunction where we can see the essential role of monosyllabic style. Again, great job using the adjective and what type of style, monosyllabic, of writing. Many English poems consist of one-syllable words, and this language feature has made an invaluable contribution to the works of famous writers. This is a really nice sentence. I know Natalia wrote this, so I'll just say great explanation for what monosyllable means. Why is monosyllable important? And then Natalia gives a good sentence here explaining why monosyllables are important. I'm going to copy and paste mine. Here's what I wrote. Grossman believes that the beat and pulse, again, see this, the way I like to do this, of a language are very important when translating, especially when translating poetry. Now, this is something you don't have to do, but again, what I did in many, many papers in grad school is if I put a quote, even one or two words in quotes, then I'll put the page number again being like, I'm not stealing, I'm not plagiarizing. I know these words came from this page, and then I continue with the paraphrase, right? So Grossman believes that beat and pulse of a language are very important when translating, especially when translating poetry. She argues that this is very difficult to do when the two languages have different rhythm and meter. She uses the example of syllables in English and Spanish. English, for example, has many more monosyllable words with only one syllable than Spanish. She writes that famous English poets such as Shakespeare and Yeats used single-syllable words often, and it is therefore difficult to use equivalent words in Spanish or any other language that, or languages, or any other languages that do not have as many monosyllables. Okay, now we're going back to Fada's idea. So we got to see lots of different examples. What do we notice about all these examples? What do you like? What do you not like? What works? What doesn't work? What questions do you have after doing this activity here?
A question.
I'm ready.
A suggestion about your paraphrasing, professor. If you can enlarge it a little bit.
That's what I was just doing. Yeah.
It's very small.
Thank you.
Yes, the languages have different rhythm and meter. Instead of meter, units. Units, because there is a French unit and English units.
We're We're going to talk about meter when we talk about poetry. This is like a special sort of poetry vocabulary word.
Yes, just a suggestion. Is
Oh,
it?
change meter because it's too similar. So you want to keep units?
Yes, different units.
Okay.
It may be more clear.
Okay.
When we are explaining.
Love it. Great. I love it.
The feet is shorter than meter.
Mm.
There is different imagination for the length.
Love it. Good. What else about my example, your examples? Again, anything else? Just what do you notice? What questions do you still have about doing this kind of practice? What do you think?
I think my colleagues is creatives.
I agree.
All.
I agree. I think honestly, they're all good. Like there's no bad paraphrasing here, you guys. I think that's another good thing to see each other's work is different styles, different ways to get the same work done. Do you know what I mean? So like, and this is what I was saying to Hiro and her group is, you know, Natalia can't write like Ahmad. Hiroe can't write like Jay. I can't write like Usama. You know, I think honestly, the thing that makes good writers is know your own style and go for it. So what I don't want is for you to look at breakout room 2 and be like, oh no, I would never do that. I'm stupid. I suck. There's all these different ways to do it. How do you do it? What feels true for you, right? And then when we start to submit this type of work, I'll let you know if it's working or not. But I don't want you to feel like, oh no, I'm bad at this. The point is to see there's lots of different ways to do this. We're all paraphrasing, but we each bring our own personal style and experience and background and all that different kind of stuff too. So what else? Anything else you notice? Questions you have? What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Tell me. Here I go for it.
I think everyone did a great job. But I also was amazed, not amazed, maybe positively surprised that how the Grossman wrote her paragraph so clear that everyone actually got her core message. So this makes the good author, I think. And if I would write a book, maybe everyone has a different opinion what I was thinking. But it is always interesting to see what people wrote and to see, oh, everyone understood almost in the same way. You know what I mean?
I do. Yeah. So I love that. Yeah, I'd say I agree. I think Hiro is saying because we read it and we all got the same main idea, that shows that the writing that we are paraphrasing is clear already by itself. I love that.
Yes.
I love that. And I'll also add, and it shows that you guys are good readers because you can read something and extract the main idea. So I will compliment Grossman and I will compliment all of you. But I love that point, Hiro. I love that. Good. Anybody else? Maybe one or two. Anybody else want to talk about this activity? Ahmad, go ahead.
I want to add something. To be honest, I'm not sure for everybody. For me, this book is not an easy book.
No, it's not.
It's really hard. And I'm really kind of, I would say, I'm proud of the class and everybody when they get the meaning of everything. Sometimes, especially the lesson 3, I mean, the chapter 3 in this book, I had to go 2 times to get it, to be honest. The language she wrote, it's really high for us as second language speakers, but still everybody did a great job.
I could not agree more. And like I said last week, this is the hardest book we read all semester. And we're done basically. You've suffered enough. Ahmad, only 2 times. You are better off than me. Chapter 3 is also intentionally, I wanted it to feel hard because it's sort of preparing you, because the hard work you did now on chapter 3, it will help you when we go to the poetry, because the poetry is going to feel much easier. And the book that I have for you to read about the poems is much easier. But this idea about rhythm, meter, monosyllables, multisyllables, all those ideas, they're going to come back when we start to look at some poems. So it'll pay off. It'll pay off. Anybody else here? Awesome. I loved that. That was great. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you enjoyed doing that and working together. I'm going to do a few. I want to wrap up. I want to tell you what's next because I'm going to change my plans because we're basically at the end of class. I want to change my plans. But before I sort of talk about what's next, I do want to say one last chance. Any last thought about paraphrasing or this activity or anything else? Fada, go for it.
Yeah, small. I mean, I want to share my idea. Paraphrasing for me, that I guess 2 times translation. That's work. Am I right?
You think paraphrasing is twice as hard as translating?
No. Twice translation, not two as harder than translation. So, for example, this paragraph, if we translate it again in English.
Right. Yes, I love that idea. Fada is saying, I love that idea. Yeah. So Fada is saying paraphrasing is kind of like translating, but you keep it in the same language, English to English. Is that what you're saying? Yeah. I love that idea. Yeah, sure. Some other people might think you're crazy, but I love that. I mean, it's one thing I love about this book is I do think it helps us understand language and translation for me, even I've read it many times, but I still think when I read it in new and different ways. So I love that, Fada. If you feel like, oh, whether I'm paraphrasing in whatever, in Persian, in Arabic, in Spanish, in English, whatever, any type of paraphrasing is like or similar to translation, sure, I love that. That works for me. Yeah, that's great. Love it. That's probably a perfect place to end this activity. Great. So here is what I'm going to do. So this document is here so you know, this is still here in life support materials. I'm not going to change this or edit. I'm not going to get rid of this. This document is here for you to look at. It's here under Paraphrase Practice Google Doc. You can look at it anytime. You can see the classmates' examples, my example. So this is here for you to review at any time. Okay, you guys? What I'm going to do is this. This will be boring, but watch me do this so I don't forget. I'm very pleased with what we did today. I'm very happy that we spent the whole class doing paraphrasing. And because we did that, I'm going to introduce the first major writing project next week because it's going to take me way more than 10 minutes to introduce it. And I don't think it's fair to just throw it at you. So here's what I'm going to do. Am I in the right class? Yes, okay, good. I'm going to change the due date here. I know this is boring, but give me a second so that I make sure. So the first major writing assignment will be due in 3 weeks from today. Next week, we will definitely talk about the instructions and what we're doing, but I'm going to adapt sort of the lessons and what I'm going to suggest that you do for the next week. So again, give me 1 second here. Invention activity. Híjole, there it is. Okay, so nothing is due in 1 week, okay? There will be nothing due in 1 week. I'm changing that to 2 weeks as well, so that we'll have our full time period for the writing assignment. Let me just change the date here. So here's what I do want you to do, and I posted a bunch of new material in Canvas. So here's some examples and some reading that we can do. But what I'll do then, let me show you what the idea was. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about this. Suggested before next week, complete lesson 14. What I'm going to do is maybe make one more lesson I think we should keep practicing paraphrasing on our own and give you more time so that it's not just in class. I don't have this in Canvas because I didn't know that we would do this, but I'll make an assignment for us to practice paraphrasing. So I'll put that in Canvas in the next maybe day or two. So here's what I'm going to suggest we do. First, if you go to course materials, so The River Speaks is our poetry book. We're going to go there after we go to talk about the first major writing assignment. But if you look here where it says narrative writing, I posted a bunch of really, I love them. I was going to say great. I love them, so I think they're great. Examples of narrative writing. So what you can do is go ahead and take your time, maybe pick one or two of these that you can just read on your own. They're all just examples of the type of writing that I will ask you to do for the first major writing assignment. I don't want you to worry about what you should do with them. Just read them, because when I introduce the structure of narrative writing and the type of structure that I want you to use for the writing assignment, we'll use some of these as examples next week, okay? So that's the first thing you can do. Go to the course materials page, take a look at some of these PDFs. I posted them all here for you. Pick maybe one, pick two, and read through them to get an example of narrative writing. The assignment sheet for the writing project is here as well. I do need to change it because the dates are wrong now, but that's fine. So if you want to look at sort of what you will be doing, you can also look at the assignment sheet here in Canvas, okay? This is an artist's drawing of the Tower of Babel. Let me do this right now, actually. Oops. Wednesday, October 7, and then Wednesday, October 14, right? And then the other thing that you can do is please do discussion 14. Discussion 14 is so good. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, she's the woman who is giving the speech in the video. She's just an incredible writer and just an amazing person. And I really think that you will enjoy the video. And it'll really give you a chance to sort of, because it is a narrative, she's sort of telling her story. It again gives you good examples of the type of writing that I'm going to ask you to do for the first major writing assignment. So I'm going to say this here. Complete lesson 15. It's not posted yet, but it will be. And read one or two of the narrative. That was boring because it was me talking to my screen. But any questions now while I was sort of talking through what's next and how we're changing dates? And I know that was a lot to just sort of throw out at the end. But with our last 5 or 6 minutes, any questions about what we're doing next? Ahmad, go ahead.
These narratives, PDFs, are they directly from the books?
No, these are just things I love and want to share with you. These are not in any of the books that I made you buy.
No, I'm just saying because I think I have read the Amy Tan book.
Oh yeah, if this one, Mother Tongue is a very, people often use this in English 300 or even ESL classes. So if you've read it before, skip that one, go on to another one. But yeah, it's, yeah, you might have seen Mother Tongue before. So read a different one.
It has really and I would call it Old English version.
Yeah, it's famous. It's famous and it's old, right? It's from 1990, so it's 30 years old now. But yeah, I think it's still beautiful, especially for students. I think especially because we have so many different people from different countries in this class. For Chinese students, I think it's really powerful for Chinese students to see an example like that. Yes, Usama, please.
I want to ask about the course materials. It is under the pages?
Yeah, you can find it. Yes, great question, Osama. You can find it really in 2 main places. If you click home and then it's right there, course materials, or you are absolutely correct. If you click pages and then you click view all pages, you can absolutely click course materials and get there that way too.
Okay, good.
Yep. Other questions? Hiroe, go ahead.
So the River speaks in narrative writings. In which order should we start with?
Yeah, thank you, Hiroe. I was going to say last week, I know I said if you're going fast, you can start to read River Speaks, and I did jump a little bit. So if you read chapter 1 or 2, again, you're going to be very well prepared for a couple weeks from now. But for now, you can go back to these narrative writing examples because that's the next big writing that we're going to do. Did that answer your question, Hiroe?
So that means, I'm sorry to repeat, narrative writing first, and
Yeah.
then if people are feeling being ahead, they can start with Riva Speaks.
Perfect. Yes, exactly.
Okay, understood.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Narrative first, then poetry. Thank you. You said it much more clearly than I did. Thank you. Other questions? Great. Thank you for your flexibility, right? Like I don't, so I know some students, I just want to be respectful. I know people have so many different preferences and some students are like, oh my God, why are we changing things? Or like, you know, but as you can probably tell by now, I want us to go as fast as we need to go. I'm not interested in going fast just to go fast. You know, I think spending that much time with paraphrasing was really, it seemed to me like really, really important. And I'm really glad that we did it. So like I said, I'll create a lesson, another lesson in Canvas for you to keep paraphrasing. And then I can give you much more personal feedback one-on-one about your own personal paraphrasing. Because paraphrasing is important for every class, any language. I mean, it's so important for US college writing. So no one, I'm thinking of Natalia here, but I'm not picking on you, Natalia. You shouldn't be ashamed of anything about your paraphrasing. It takes a lifetime worth of practice, you know, so I'm glad we did that. Anything else? Enjoy these. I hope you enjoy the narratives, you guys. Again, you can probably tell, like, I never give you guys anything to read that I don't love. So I hope you like it, and I hope you find it interesting. So that's it. Do the next discussion, lesson 14. Check in about a day or two for lesson 15. It'll just be more practice paraphrasing. And if you want to, you can look at the assignment sheet here for the first major writing assignment. It'll give you an idea of what's coming up and what I'm going to ask you to do next week. But I don't think it's fair to assign you something that I haven't taught you how to do yet. So. All right, that's it. We got out on time today. It's a miracle. Thank you all for your great work. It was really, I loved talking about writing today. That was fun.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, Hiroe.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Professor. Bye.
Jay.
Thank you, Professor. Bye.
Thank you guys.
I have a question.
I'm here. What's up?
Professor, I have a personal question.
Sure.
This is about about maybe the discussion board that you graded for me. You put 15.
Oh, let's take a look.
15 from 20. I don't know what is the problem of my text. About what the dream, what we learn from America.
Got it. Okay, let's see.
And I explain about my first experiment in elementary school, how I'm astonished there from the things, from the facts, how people live together.
This discussion?
Yeah, maybe this one, I don't know.
Well, not this one, because this one, you've got 20 out of 20 on that one. So let's see if there's another discussion.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know.
No, it's all good.
Maybe the one which I took 15, I don't know. Yes, maybe.
Is this it? Translation. Oh, let's take a look. I wonder if I graded it before you posted a reply to one of your classmates. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, that's it. So this is just because right now, as of when I went to grade it, you didn't post a reply to one of your classmates. And remember, 5 points is for a reply. So if you want to go back in, now it's kind of old, but if you want to go back in and post a reply, or does that make sense? Why?
Yeah, yes, now I know. So I have to go to make reply because I thought myself I did that.
It's all good. You know what? And it's now it's 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's fine. I'll just give you the 5 points. It's not a problem. So don't worry about going back. You can use your time better, read one of the narratives or do something else that we're working on now. And then just remember for the next discussion for the video, just remember to post a reply.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Always my pleasure.
I am enjoying you. Yes, really.
You're very kind. And I'm very happy that you're enjoying the class. Really, truly.
Yeah. Thank you, Professor. And have a nice week.
You too.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Sama.